publicly recited as preface to the works of the poem Aurora Borealis of his professor Carlo Nocetti, and the first part of his astronomical epic, De Solis Acclune Defectibus, on the eclipses of the sun and the moon. Now it is the first version, also kept in Bangkok Library in California. This epic was his most ambitious literary project, began in 1735 and completed in London in 1760, 25 years of work, where it was dedicated to the Royal Society. Boscovich's literary pursuit resulted in a variety of genres. He chose the eclogue and the apotheosis of Stanislaw Leszczynski that he recited at the meeting of the Accademia degli Arcadi to be the first to represent him as a poet in print. But he waited, in my opinion, a very long time, until 1753. As his contribution to the Latin miscellany of the Roman Accademia degli Arcadi, he chose epigrams on the themes of astronomy and natural philosophy, and I mentioned the most relevant for his scientific worldview is the epigram in the disposition of the planets that the Earth lies between Mars and Venus. This epigram was so important to him that he rewrote it as an Italian sonnet, publishing both epigram and sonnet in the first London edition of his astronomical epic in a note to the first comer. And a little about the archaeology. During his visits to Rufinella, country villa for professors and students of the Collegium Romanum, not far from Frascati, on his regular Thursdays at the Jesuit DS Villa, the day without lecture. Professor Boscovich developed an interest in archaeology, and from 1743 to 1746, he systematically studied the Roman period villa of Tusculum, which he discovered not far from Rufinella. Among the finds, a sundial with an error in its construction particularly attracted his attention. His archaeological work was presented in an unsigned article by Michelangelo Giacomelli, editor of the Roman Giornale dei Letterati. A sudden death of Boscovich student Ivan Luka Zuzovic, whose conclusion differed from those of his professor, discouraged Boscovich from publishing more extensive archaeological studies. In 1748, Boscovich joined in the European debate on the obelisk of Augustus, excavated on the field of Mars in Rome. He composed 3 pieces on this topic. In 1748, he sent an epistle to Bandini for the miscellany De Obelisco Caesaris Augusti. In 1750, he prepared for print an epistle of the English archaeologist James Stewart, with Stewart's wonderful drawings of the entire obelisk and with the cusp of the obelisk. And he prepared also an off-print of Stewart's epistle. And the third piece was Boscovich's polemic with Abbot Galliani from Naples. In August 1750, while looking for a suitable post to put the sign for measuring the length of the degree of the Roman meridian, built in the church wall at Castelnuovo, Boscovich found yet another sundial, similar to the one he had excavated in the villa of Tusculum. Of this find he informed Cardinal Valenti, who organized for the new discovery to be housed on Campidoglio. And so I will finish now to conclude. In the history of natural sciences, Boscovich has earned his place with a contribution to natural philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, geophysics, and meteorology. His place in the history of the technical sciences, Boscovich has earned as a structural engineer, surveyor, cartographer, expert in hydraulic engineering, and instrument maker, and his contribution to the humanities distinguish him as a philosopher, poet, and archaeologist. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you'll agree with me that Boscovich's life is fascinating, and he has a wonderful person here to tell us about it, and also in a foreign language as well. And I think it's a really fantastic job that you've done. Thank you. It is 7 o'clock now, so if anyone needs to leave, do feel like you can leave. But I think we probably have time for a few questions if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask. Yes, we have one here.
Is it true that the Dubrovnik Republic recognized the influence that Boscovich has in trying to use him for some diplomatic services for the Republic? Somewhere I heard.
Yes, but example of Boscovich is very similar to the example of the one earlier, very important scholar of Dubrovnik. It is about Stepanograd. First, the situation that another country needs the diplomatic service of Boscovich. It was the Republic of Luka, on the recommendation of Pope. And after the first diplomatic talks of the Republic of Luka, Republic of Dubrovnik engaged Boscovich as diplomat. So it's not. It is the nobles, rector and senate of the Dubrovnik Republic was very slow and very careful when decided to engage the citizen in diplomacy. It was the gap between novelty and citizen. And it was also a problem when Republic of Luka gave novelty to Boscovich. It was not something what was in Dubrovnik welcomed. But Boscovich denied the novelty because of his religious vows.
Could you expand a bit on Boscovich's thinking about rejecting Newton's second law?
Yeah, it's a very difficult question. I'm asking for answer many years. Boscovich used the term of acceleration. Boscovich used the term of